to KGW News at 5. Tonight, we start in Hillsboro, where investigators say a police officer was attacked before shooting the suspect. Good evening, I'm Christelle Kumwe. Catherine Cook breaks down everything we've learned so far about this.
Around 1 o'clock Friday afternoon, Hillsboro police responded to Southeast 11th and Washington. It's where they say one of their own officers was attacked. He then shot the suspect. According to police, it happened while the officer was standing near his patrol car.
Civilian witnesses saw one of our officers attacked, and as he was being attacked, he responded with lethal force.
Sergeant Stuart Kelsey said no one else was injured. There are no outstanding suspects or threats to the public. The attack happened in an area familiar to Hillsboro police, right behind their West Precinct building.
It was a rapid response, obviously. It's
also along TriMet's Blue Line, which disrupted MAX service for several hours. Neighbors tell us police canvassed the area looking for more witnesses, though no one we spoke with saw the attack or knew who the suspect was. As for how either the suspect or officer are doing, police wouldn't share that Friday night.
I can't at this time. It's an ongoing investigation, and Washington County Major Crimes is called out to investigate the scene.
That was Catherine Cook reporting. The name of the officer involved in this shooting has not been released yet. We'll be keeping you updated once we get more information in the coming days. Now on to Multnomah County, where the sheriff's office is warning about a new form of fentanyl that has made its way to Portland. It's called rainbow fentanyl. Experts say rainbow fentanyl is the purest form of the drug. Deputies seized it during a recent search along with guns, cash, heroin, and meth. The smallest of amounts can kill you. And what's also troubling, the dye used to color the powder in some cases.
It is a concern. To a little kid, it could look like sidewalk chalk. It could look like a pixie stick. It's extremely dangerous, especially for children, extremely dangerous.
It's important to note last year in Oregon, 11 young people under the age of 10 died from fentanyl. That's more than double the number of deaths from 2020. Drug overdoses continue to plague our country and the streets right here in Portland. Ahead of International Overdose Awareness Day, which is at the end of the month, families who have lost loved ones are speaking out, trying to break the stigma around overdoses. Blair Best has our story.
Over the past 2 years, drug overdoses have increased across the U.S., reaching more than 100,000 deaths just last year. And the numbers here in Oregon have tripled, reaching about 800 deaths last year. But behind each number is a person. And we talked with one mother who's fighting to end the stigma around drug overdoses after losing her son to heroin. Memories of her 18-year-old son Ryan is all Lynn Anderson is left with.
There's always that hole, within your family.
His picture takes her back to better days.
His laughter and his heart, very kind boy, young man, but just his presence, middle child, and he could change the room.
Anderson believes his addiction started when he was just a boy. Ryan was in the 8th grade when he broke his leg and doctors prescribed him OxyContin.
And that started his drug and alcohol use, from marijuana and alcohol and then pills, and then it led to heroin.
Over the years, he went through various treatment programs and was clean for 7 months before he started using again.
He didn't communicate with us that he had found his way back to heroin, and we got a text message on August 19th, 2012 from someone who was concerned about him, and shortly afterwards a deputy showed up at our door. Sure miss him. Who would he be at 29 years of age this month? That's a big question.
Anderson now works in the recovery field, supporting other grieving families and fighting to change the stereotype around overdoses.
There's a lot of stigma and shame associated with people who use drug and alcohol or misuse, and that needs to stop.
I think there's definitely a lack in empathy.
Jeremiah Lindemann feels her pain. He lost his younger brother to heroin over 12 years ago. He's since created this online map called Celebrating Lost Loved Ones, where families can post photos and a description of who they've lost to help put faces to names.
It's a great vehicle to just help families that have lost people to get over a fear that they feel that their loved ones' memories will just go away and it will be forgotten.
It keeps their stories alive, even though it's a map no family wants to be on.
We continue, you know, hoping to break that stigma, tear down that shame, and get those resources out there.
On August 31st, which is International Overdose Awareness Day, there will be a naloxone training at Clark College. As for the map, there's also one for people in recovery to connect with one another. Blair Best, KGW News.
A newly released report shows how many homeless people in Oregon have died so far this year. Releasing this data is now required under a bill passed last year by legislators. According to the Oregon Health Authority, the number of homeless deaths in the state this year is 207. 74% are considered deaths of natural causes. We talked to Scott Kerman from the Blanchet House, a Portland nonprofit that serves people living on the streets.
We should urge caution as to drawing too much of a conclusion from the natural death count. Taken at face value, it may seem like, oh, well, you know, most people who are homeless are dying a natural death, and perhaps we imagine that as we might imagine our loved ones passing away naturally. I suspect it's not necessarily the case.
Kerman says he hopes to get more details from the new report in order to help find solutions to the city's homeless crisis. Now on to the mayor's response to the homeless crisis. Ted Wheeler has enacted an emergency camping ban, and this means homeless camping will be banned near schools. Now, this is citywide and includes routes to more than 100 public and private schools within a half-a-mile radius from campus. The order will also expand camping bans near dangerous roads.
Just feeling the love out here is so awesome. We need this.
Hundreds of people gathered outside Revolution Hall today for an event meant to bring people together, specifically the Black community right here in Portland. It's called Soul to Soul, and Brian Clerkley was there. And Brian, this event was meant to create a safe place for the community, correct? Yeah.
Yes, Christelle, that's right. This is the second year of Soul to Soul, and this year is much bigger than last year. And it gave a space for Black performers, vendors, and artists to showcase their work. The event is meant to celebrate Black culture.
And we need all this music, laughter, soul, and the blessings that come with it.
Just outside Revolution Hall, people are gathering for the second annual Soul to Soul event, meant for everyone but geared towards Oregon's Black community. From the gospel singers to the African drummers over to the food vendors, the event showcases the talent and contributions of Portland's Black community. Founder Andre Miller says Soul to Soul is meant to celebrate the culture.
It's good for our community to be able to come together and represent each other and support each other, especially during these times of gun violence that we're dealing with in our community.
Miller says positive events like Soul to Soul, where younger people can interact with older role models, are crucial.
Being able to have support and building the relationships in our community and showing the youth that there's other things and other options to be able to do.
Soul to Soul not only provides space for Black vendors to sell food and clothes, people can also get COVID vaccines and information on health and wellness. John Hall Jr. owns Bradango, a clothing company he started 3 years ago. He currently lives on the Oregon coast, but came into Portland for Soul to Soul.
Every time there's an event for African Americans or people of multicultural culture, they come in to town and try to sell my streetwear like that. So it's pretty important.
This is about celebrating Black excellence and resilience. So all of us should celebrate that.
Organizers say they hope to expand the event to the riverfront and to bring in some bigger musical acts in the future. If anyone would like to sponsor the event, you can go to soul2soulpdx.com, and we'll have that link posted on our website, kgw.com. Christelle?
Fun event. Looks fun. Thanks, Bryant.